Hi, I'm Patrick Perry. I'd like to show you people use any cans. I'd like to show you. Okay, this is a full of can is not good for you. It's not good for you. Let me read to you is if are trying to measure your exposure to B, B, BPA, eating a lot of canned food is not the best idea. Some Somebody can food may contain BPA. A chemical is, that has been associated with health problems like heart disease and type 2 diabetes. You see, you make us take a look at is this is a full of cans called plosives, right here, plosive. Okay, let me read to you it is the only plosive most canned vegetable have is salty must canned food, fruits including sugar a has a plosive thought you can found fruit can in syrup light syrup or fruit juice, all of which contain discerning amount of fruit sugar. Butter may also be added to preserve color. Okay, let me see. I'm gonna go to right here. It is called How Bad Is It to Eat Canned Food? This see, you gotta read it right here. You see right here. Okay. Okay. Let me see the. Let's see if you got the. Let's see here. Let's see the call read out loud. You gotta listen. You gotta listen this. Now listen this.
Originally answered, is it dangerous to eat canned food? In general, no. Food that is canned and sold in the US has been tested and approved for consumption by the FDA. This organization has a long track record of keeping all food packed and sold in the US very safe to eat. Food canned outside the US and imported is not subject to quite as high a standard as the law's packing standards of the other country would apply. Fortunately, the FDA does continuously monitor food safety and would issue recall notices if such food were shown to be dangerous. So in general canned food is safe to eat, and many people in the US and other countries rely on canned food for a large portion of their diet. It's important in some areas that can't grow their own produce, or have long shipping times that make receiving fresh produce difficult, to be able to receive food that is edible and can store for a long time. It's also a reality of life for some people who can't always afford fresh produce. If you can afford to buy fresh produce, it's best not to always rely on canned food. Many canned foods are packed with added salt to provide extra flavor, which can be bad for your diet. They are also often cooked to extend shelf life and make them readily edible, but that can change the nutrient content. As with most things diet related, a healthy variety is the best approach. If you can afford fresh produce but need to supplement with canned food, you'll most likely be perfectly healthy.
Okay, I'm gonna go to the next one. Okay, this is called it's called food of cans, called any cans. Now listen to me. Now listen to me. If you use any cans, don't let Kitty 2 see that. Don't let the Kitty 2 see that. If you don't, Kitty, they hear you. They hear you. Now what you do, I want you close to the blind, close the curtains, but then the kitty, because the kitty, they don't know that is. They don't know. Now, I'm gonna go to a take a look at the YouTube is right here. Now you gotta listen to this.
Welcome back, guys. So in my previous videos I've touched on the fact that we're living in very busy times.
Sorry about that. I forgot to put a normal. Okay, now listen to this.
Welcome back, guys. So in my previous videos I've touched on the fact that we're living in very busy times. We're all getting about our days and weeks and months at a very frenetic pace, and as a result we are all trying to cram as much into one day as possible, which leads us to looking for shortcuts along the way. And one such shortcut is eating food from a can, and whilst there is no denying the convenience of doing so, it could also be seen that there's no denying the negative impact this can have on your health. So today, I want to take a look at the reasons why, so that you can then make an informed decision as to whether you should ditch the tinned and canned foods from your diet or not. Of most concern is a chemical which these cans and tins align with, which is called bisphenol A, which is also referred to as BPA. This chemical is used to prevent the can from corrosion and bacteria growth, and the issue is that it has been proven to leak into the food.
You hear that? Now listen to this.
Foods contained within the metal that BPA lines. BPA has been linked to a host of problems including cancer, heart disease, endocrine disorders, and disruptions to our hormones. A study was conducted at the Department of Preventative Medicine at the College of Medicine at Seoul National University, and it was then published in the Hypertension Journal. And this study took 60 participants and gave them soy milk to drink from a combination of BPA lined cans or a coating-free glass. Some participants drank one of each, or just 2 cans or 2 bottles. Then 2 hours later, the scientists measured the participants' blood pressure, vital signs, and took urine samples. They found that the participants who had drunk Who had drunk from the BPA line cans had 16 times the amount of BPA in their urine than those that drank from the BPA-free glass bottle, which proved that the chemical does leak into the food that it contains. Of more concern though was that those who drank from the BPA line cans registered far higher blood pressure than the bottle drinkers. BPA is also found in plastic bottles and shopping receipts. Now this study is just simply one example, and I have no bias or vested interest, and there were many studies that did actually suggest the amount of BPA found in foods was incredibly minor and would only be harmful if far larger amounts were ingested. However, my personal take is that it's not even worth taking the risk when you can just buy the fruits and vegetables and anything else found in cans in their natural and fresh state. The next obvious issue is that the foods in a can or tin are obviously less fresh, and in the vast majority of cases will be of lower quality and texture. If you ate, say, a fresh tomato versus canned, the fresh non-contained food will generally taste nicer. If this does not make sense to you, then just consider the fact that generally with any product or service, if that product or service creates convenience, we normally have to pay a premium for it. So maybe you want to consider the fact that despite providing convenience, canned products are much cheaper than their fresh alternatives, which seems a bit odd. The vast majority of canned foods will also have less nutritional value than the same food in its fresh state. I was actually surprised to learn that canned fruits and veggies are actually cooked before being canned, which in itself diminishes the amount of nutrients. For example, if you were to cook steamed veggies versus eating a raw, non-cooked or heated up salad, the raw salad will have much more nutrients. In addition, canned fruit will almost always have its skin removed, and the skin of a fruit is just about the healthiest part as it contains the majority of the food's fibre. Whilst canned fruit and vegetables can lose between 30 to 50% of their nutritional value in the pre-canned heating process, it actually seems that beans and legumes did not suffer the same fate and maintain a lot of their nutritional value better. The majority of canned foods contain sodium, also known as salt, and are often swimming in a sugary syrup. In the salt is included to add flavour and preservatives and the texture of the food, and the sugar adds taste and makes the fruits more of a dessert type option. Both are harmful, and the added sugar obviously increases the carbohydrate and calorie value of the food. One thing you can do to eliminate some of the sodium and sugar is to thoroughly rinse the products before you actually consume them. Or many brands also now offer low or no added salt and sugar options in cans. And the final point is the many preservatives found in these cans. Now, hopefully this is all just common sense, but essentially I have a pretty simple rule with my personal diet and nutrition, which is that if I struggle to pronounce any ingredient on a food label, then I'll avoid eating it. And when it comes to canned foods, you can almost get a headache trying to read all those 10, 15 plus letter words that are all the preservatives found in the can. And another kind of common sense thing to me is that I think we should question eating a food that in its natural state should only be edible for a few weeks or so, but in the canned form has a shelf life of 12 plus months. Again, this is an area that has more unproven facts than it does cold hard facts, but the variety of preservatives are said to be potentially harmful to babies, the elderly, and those that are generally unhealthy or suffering from certain diseases. Whilst it is said that completely healthy people should not be severely impacted by preservatives, my take, like with many other nutritional decisions like the chemicals in diet soda for example, is that if there's a chance they are harmful, then I would prefer to avoid them altogether. Okay, so that's it for today, guys. I hope this has opened up your eyes to the possible negatives of consuming canned foods. Thanks so much for tuning in, as I really appreciate you watching my videos each day, and I look forward to seeing you at www.improvement.com tomorrow for my next daily video. And until then, guys, keep learning and improving.
Okay. About the full cans, type in message for me with my type in message for me with my comments, then you tell me. Well, I hope you like my videos. I hope you like it. Well, maybe that's it.